This is the most unique-looking Apple phone in recent times. In fact, there are very few phones that have such a clean, unblemished look about them. That is because Apple has gotten rid of the iconic home button and given the front solely for its bezel-less screen. By bezel-less, Apple doesn't mean a display that bends into the edges. In fact, it is the other way around, with the edges bending into the screen. So there is a thin frame around the display, but it does not take away the awesomeness of this Super AMOLED screen, which is the most vibrant ever in an iPhone. Also, the lack of a bezel makes this large phone one that can be gripped even by the tiniest of hands. In fact, Apple might be able to woo a lot of iPhone 5 and iPhone users to move here. With the home button gone, Apple has killed the fingerprint scanner and given life to Face ID, in my books the most natural and fastest way to unlock a phone. Thanks to the TrueDepth camera system up front, the phone can detect your face even when you are in the bed with the lights switched off. In the past week, I have hardly had to use the passcode to enter the phone. It also helps that the Face ID is used seamlessly to autofill passwords Apple already knows. I think this in itself is a feature that gives the iPhone X a significant edge over the competition. It uses the TrueDepth camera to plot your face and recreate your facial movements in an animoji, certainly not the sort of high-end processing phones of the past would have volunteered for. Also, overall it has become much more faster to use the dual camera modes, and that means this phone has more power under the hood. I like the fact that this phone manages to stay very cool despite the high-resolution screen and uses the battery better than the iPhone 8 Plus. The iPhone X has a better camera than the iPhone 8 Plus because of the lower f-number of the lens. It also does a better job of image stabilization and thus comes up with better videos and time-lapses. However, where this phone stands out is the front camera, which uses the TrueDepth system of the Face ID to give more character to selfies. In fact, Apple has gone a step ahead and brought portrait mode to its selfie camera with this phone. I think this camera has the potential to make face shots with contour lighting the norm instead of beautified selfies. While this phone is stylish, it will also be a hard phone to maintain. Since there is glass on both sides, you have double the chance of wrecking this device. Even though it has the strongest glass ever on a phone, we know that has never come in the way of an expensive phone ending up with a cheap crack on the front. Also, a good indicator of this fact is the first ever Apple folio cover, which is not that practical. Longtime Apple users might struggle a bit, at least initially, because they no longer have the power button they are so used to. However, the gestures Apple has launched with this device seem much more natural than using a button. So much so that you will struggle going back to a button-based UI. Still, there are some new things users will need to learn to understand this phone better. While the iPhone X has a stellar display, it has a quirk too. The front camera rig sort of eats into the display. So if you are trying to watch a movie or video on full screen, the content wrapping around the camera might irritate you a bit.